by Meena Sethi from Surajpur and Meenakshi Munjal from our school, Hansraj Public School. And in those two sessions, we discussed about the assertion reason and the new pattern for the exams and all, the MCQ types. And today we will be taking the remaining two types of the questions in the slides, right? So this is today's agenda. I welcome you all on the behalf of Hansraj Public School. I am Anjali Jaiswal, and with me the session will be joined by Gushran Chopra ma'am. She will be taking the bio part of it. I'll be dealing mainly with the physics. And we will be starting. Before we start, I would like to thank, my screen is visible. Once anybody can let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Right. It's freezed from my side. Okay. So we would like to thank our alma maters and our the heads, Dr. Nisha Patient, Director Academics, DAVCE, with whose guidance we are working like years, like almost many years have passed. This capacity building program is there on the way. And every time we are discussing, we are exploring new things by experience of each other. I would like to thank Dr. V. Singh, Director, DAV Public Schools, DAV CMC. Sir is always supporting us. I would like to thank Dr. B.C. Joshin, Regional Officer of our school, and our Principal, Madam Jaya Bhardwaj, who is Cluster Head for the Panchkula Zone. And she is always ready to encourage us for learning and new learning. So before we start, like this picture which is there on your screen, it's with the joined hands, right? So it's a way to worship also. And we pray like everything, everybody should be fine at the place. But at the same time, this picture is part of one session called ice breaking session. So we will be trying to break some ice amongst us with this picture, which I am sharing with you. So just a little activity you have to do. And I will be stop sharing for, I will be just asking you to do one thing with me. Like you all have to clasp your hands the way it is shown on the screen with the count of 3. And you have to do it multiple times. I'm showing it to you. And because the responses you have to write in the chats, so everybody has to do this. So just 1, 2, 3, and I'm clasping my hands like this. So everybody will be trying at their end. Then I will ask you to observe something. So again, 1, 2, and 3. So I hope you have done it number of times, and every time you are clasping your hands, which thumb is coming on the top? Like it would be different in everybody's case. I want your responses in the chat, like whether it is your right thumb up or the left thumb up. So you can share your responses. Prabhat sir, right thumb. Okay, Balvinder Kaur ma'am, left thumb. Asha ma'am, right. So there are some right, some left. There is another possibility as well that we are getting 2 thumbs together on the top. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, like you are feeling it different. Meena Sethi ma'am has got the left. Some are getting on right and some are getting left. So it's quite obvious we all are different. So different thing we are observing for ourselves. Now, just a small instruction for you. We will be again counting till 3. Thank you, Vandana ma'am. It's right for you. So now what we are going to see, like you all will be clasping it once again, but now you just have to keep in mind that the other thumb should come up, right? So let's try it for 2, 3 times. So if earlier it was left, now it should be right. So 1, 2, 3. I'm doing it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now, share your experience. Anybody can unmute, like if anybody wants to share, or you can write in the responses whether it changed or it was the same.
It changed, ma'am.
It changed, right? It changed because you asked your brain to change, so it changed. Yes, all of our brains are working perfectly and taking our commands. But any other what, like sir only can tell the experience if you have felt Was there a little bit of effort required? Yes,
There
Ashok.
was one thing which I observed was that my smallest finger, they were actually colliding with each other.
They were, yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
the only
So,
thing.
yes, right, perfect. Any other? Somebody can mute and unmute like herself or himself and tell me the feeling you had when you were trying to bring the other thumb up. So sir was getting some entangled between the little fingers, and there was something in our mind like we have to do it otherwise. And okay, Gursha ma'am said that she can't unmute. Arushi ma'am, if any option like that is there, you can please see. But sir is able to unmute, ma'am. It's okay. It's okay if you cannot, right? So the thing is this, the thing is this, that anytime we are asked for a change, so it becomes uncomfortable. We have to train our mind for that. And so we are checking into the next slide. How do we feel that whenever any change is introduced to us? So this is a graph between the self-esteem and the time. The self-esteem is ours, the individual's esteem. Whenever any new idea is given, like we were given the new idea of making the question paper in a new way. I'm not taking any example from the COVID situation. So when we are setting up a paper in a different style, so all of us, first of not all of us, but many of us, most of us take any new thing with the denial. Am I right in saying this? Like we are not always welcoming the new things. All we are welcoming the new ideas, like maybe shopping, eating something new. But like when it comes to work and many other practices in our life, we try to deny. Then when we know that we have to do it, then it becomes uneasiness. Like the little fingers of sir was, they were entangling with each other. So that was the uneasy factor in it. But once we come to know, no, we have to get into this, we have to make paper like this, then it starts confusion that how the things will be taking place, how we will be taking our journey, how we will be starting, how we will be ending. But with time, we start accepting the concepts, accepting the things, and then we get a confidence in ourselves to work further and to do the new things comfortably. So even if you try clasping your hand by taking this in number of this in your mind that you have to bring the other thumb, so after repeating it 10, 12 times, it will be very easy for you to decide whichever thumb you want to keep at the top. It won't be like you won't be required to train your brain in that case. So that is the acceptance, like we have learned for that. So the next slide we are having, these are some key points for our traditional learning, which we were doing, though with our traditional learning also, we were trying, we were innovating a lot during that process also. We were trying to bring in the hands-on, we were trying to bring the activities, we were trying to bring ICT in our traditional learning process. But now the problem-based learning, the competency-based learning is totally different. See, a lot has to be seen in the problem-based learning, the three parts, the problem assigned, identify what we need to know, learn and apply. See, the competency-based learning is not only for the exam time, that we will be putting in those questions, which are case studies questions, which are assertion reason questions, only for the exam at the time of assessment, and we won't be doing much during the year. So this thing we have to first of all get rid of. So whatever we are doing, like if we are preparing our children for the exam, so this problem based learning, competency based learning has to be introduced in the class. So rather than telling them what we need to know, what we were doing in the earlier traditional learning, we have to assign them some problems. We have to give them some problems so that they can ideate over those problems, so that they can think over those problems, they can identify. Like of course we have to handhold with them, that we have to identify together that what we need to know will be based upon our curriculum only, but the problem has to be assigned, those problems have to be linked with our curriculum, and then we have to learn and apply them, those problems to solve the real life problems as well as the examination questions. So this is a very important part which we are discussing. So if anybody wants to add anything or say anything in this, so you can always say it in the chat, or you can always uh, let me know, like, if anybody has any view about this. Okay, so the thing I said you, I will be just repeating once again. The competency is not only for setting up of the question paper. We have to include this practice during our teaching. So many a times we don't just have to tell them, but before that we have to assign some problems and then we have to take them to the content. Okay. So the next what we have to share here is, this is our today's agenda, because I will be mainly taking only the case study questions. So we will be discussing these 4 points: case study, and the main emphasis will be emphasized. I will be mainly emphasizing on the third part, sources of a case-based material. Like, how can we create this, right? So let's move to the next slide. So the first thing, what is a case study? See, many of us were in the state of confusion because there was not enough given by even the CBSE guidelines that what kind of case study we have to put, like whether it is a comprehension or what it is. So we all are learning by our experience in these last 3-4 months that a case study is in-depth study of an event. Now that event can be a real life event, it can be a lab event, it can be any event, like maybe an electrician coming to our place and repairing something, maybe a plumber coming and doing something with the pressure. It can be the study of the concepts, the laws, whatever formula we have learned. It can be study of the phenomenon, the natural phenomena which are occurring. They are already given in our books in the form of the examples, but many are not being covered. So whenever we are studying in depth any event, concept, phenomenon, and that is followed by some questions, so it's the case study, right? And the case study can be familiar and unfamiliar. Like if we are giving them a content which is very much familiar with the, say, from their textbooks, so that will go for the familiar content. Unfamiliar means altogether we are giving them a different phenomenon. The example were not given in the book, but we have created a situation. In the coming slides, you will come to know more about this familiar and unfamiliar type of case studies. The case study can be hypothetical, like something just on the basis of assumption. I share some experience, we share some experience with our children, or it can be a real life example. It can be research oriented. Of course, the research oriented cannot take place at the time of the examination because there we have the limited resources and limited way of assessing the child. But throughout the year, when we are preparing our children, so the project-based case studies, they are the research oriented. So they really help to explore children the depth, the concept in depth. So I'm moving to next. If anybody has any say in between, you can always stop me and ask me, or ask me to just give a pause, right? So the features of the case-based study. These are some characteristics and the advantages also, you can say. Like when we are doing a case-based study, when a child is doing a case-based study, he or she should be able to identify the relevant fact in that case study. Isn't it? Like the relevant fact, like there will be some information given, but relevant means relevant to the time, relevant to the questions which are given at that time, the questions which are followed in that case study. The child should be able to develop logical conclusions from that case study. He should be able to draw some conclusions. Case studies always it promotes active learning. You know, like something maybe the child is not knowing, but sitting in that examination room, or when you are giving a question for practice, maybe the textbook he had not prepared, but when you are giving some practice question, so he is learning from there only before attempting those 4 or 5 questions which you are giving at the end of that case study, but he is doing learning there only. So that is the active learning. and then excitement to see the new content. Even as the teacher, when we are on the invigilation duty, and say we have a language invigilation, and we try to get a chance to read the comprehension given in the exam paper for English or Hindi, isn't it? So children are also having, they will always be in that excitement state, because books are bore for them, and they always find excitement in to see something new. So by giving them something new which is relevant, and but giving them from some other source, that will always keep children in the excited, like it, like they will always remain excited to learn new in that state. And one more important aspect of this case study is we can integrate anything we want. We can integrate anything we want, because textbooks are designed for a particular subject. And when we want to integrate two, three things together, so we can always integrate, because we have to create, we have to develop our own content. Now, before I go to the next slide, I would like some inputs from your side, because the next slide is about the sources of the case study. So what do you suggest? Like, what do you think can be the sources of a case study? I'm waiting in the chat for your reply. Like, what can be the source of a case study other than your book, other than the textbook? I have listed few, but I would definitely like your responses. Okay. I think you're thinking hard. Yes, real life situations, Gurshar ma'am has said. Yes, we can create something from the real life, some experience, and that can be given to the children either in the form of a picture or in the form of the description. Okay, you can keep thinking, and let's see what I have worked on. You can always add your, you can always add your points in between. The sources can be the articles from the newspapers, they can be our textbooks, they can be the medical reports, they can be the description of a machine, they can be the pictures, they can be some pollution certificates, and this list can be endless. It can be the creativity of any one of us, like what materials we can use as a case-based study. Because competency-based study does not only confine ourselves to the textbook. Of course, we have to work within the guidelines of NCAF, within the guidelines of our curriculum, but then we have to make our children into the habit of learning from the unseen situations. Like this only is an article which was in yesterday's newspaper only. So it was regarding pollution. So with such case study, with such articles, we as teacher can always frame questions on the pollutions, on the pollution level, different pollutants, what, like, of course, the questions have to be framed within the curriculum setup. We can't go beyond the curriculum, but see, all the conditions are fulfilled here, which are required for a competency-based learning. See, it is giving a chance to think critically, because there are some terms given, like some abbreviations would be given which may not be given in the textbook. Of course, we won't be evaluating children for those things, but then this is what we have to give practice to our children, and this is the way they should be groomed to appear for their final assessment at the year end for any of the exam. So this can be the first part of this. The case study can be from any newspaper article. And this type of content, like it is the example from class 10th Light. So you all are requested to just read it once and suggest if you can make some questions which are related to our subject only, curriculum only. So it is the behavior of light, mainly the refraction and other phenomenons are being shown. आप एक बार read कर सकते हैं अपने end पे. I don't think that I should be reading it for you. I hope you are going through. Okay. So like I have framed some questions, but if I'm looking at this stanza again with you, so like we can have a question like that would be a close end question, a direct question, learning based question, that light travel fastest in vacuum is being given. So that kind of question will be closed end, learning based question, concept based question, right? But here one line is written, when light enters obliquely in a medium. So I can make the questions like where I give a condition, the light is entering perpendicular. So what will happen? So number of questions can be framed. These three questions I prepared at that time when I was preparing these slides. So like this is just the variety I'm showing you. As a teacher, you all know what questions can be framed. But my idea here is just to give you a view about that how we can put the different case studies apart from the textbook. So here the questions are about the phenomenons. And if we go to the previous slide, just the last line was saying several phenomenons are observed due to reflection, refraction, dispersion, and scattering. So based upon these natural phenomenons, those questions are being framed. Otherwise, the questions can be framed from any portion. Now, this is the second case study. Though this is the prescription given by an optician, though the eye is directly like it is not there in the 10th class syllabus, you are very well aware with this. But the question which we will be framing out of this, they are the part of the question. But you see that some active learning is taking place. Active learning is taking place when you are giving such case study to your children. So they are able to understand this prescription. They will be able to understand what the term DV, NV mean, what is OD, OS meaning, right? So these are the things which the children will learn while doing this case study. And the case studies can always be introduced after, like you go first, you make the concepts clear, you cover the syllabus things, and then this case study. And then the question which are followed by this. See, the questions are the number minus 3.25. So we can say that focal length for the lens can be negative, positive, and the options can be opted. So here the idea is just to see the variety of the case study, and you all have full liberty to make any kind of questions based upon this within the guidelines of your syllabus. Now, this is another example, and this is the example, this is a picture-based case study given by a description. So, kindly go through this. Of course, this content is from class 9th, and the question will be based upon weightlessness. And so, let me see what questions I have framed. Anything you as a teacher have learned from this picture right now? You can tell me in the chat box. Chat box is very, it should be like actively your responses should be coming, though we are not very large in number. We are just 16. Arushi will be passive member in this. So it's about the microgravity. He is giving the description. Though in our NCERT books, this microgravity term is not being given, but microgravity, only one thing to learn from this paragraph, which we might have just left when we are discussing the state of weightlessness with our children, that it is not only zero. It is misleading because it can be very, very less, but might not be zero gravity. Right? So these kind of things can be there. So this is the active learning which is there. So the question which I framed, of course, I know that you people can make better questions maybe. Like when we are given more time, we will be able to framing better question. So most likely the place where this picture is taken, so inside a spacecraft, in an amusement park, in a photo shop. And which condition is represented? Weightlessness, friction, free fall. So the children can always answer those things. Now, the next thing which I am having, okay, this is the same slide I'm clicking. Okay, so see, these are those real life experiences. Though it is not from the 10th class student, earlier what I was thinking that I will be doing this as an activity with you, but then I thought, why can't a case-based question be made out of this? Like, of course, we can just extend little bit because whatever experience we are getting, like little more information is given in the case-based thing. But earlier, I made this by just keeping this in my mind that this will be the activity I will be sharing in my session. But then I thought that even this can be a case-based case study, and because it can be followed by some questions. So I'm trying something. I'm sharing. आप ये क्वेश्चन पढ़ लीजिए सभी लोग बहुत ध्यान से, because you have to give your response in the Padlet I'm going to share with you. Just a second. Wait, मेरी screen. Yeah, I got it. See, I'm sharing a link in the chat box. This is the link of a Padlet where you will be writing the answer to the question you were reading. Even if you are not from the physics background, no need, just write your name if you are not sure about the answer. Have you got the link?
Yes, Anjali, we have got it.
Okay, so teachers, I would, meanwhile you are opening this link, I would just like to let you know, because I studied it recently, this Padlet, the interface, you know, the founder of this Padlet is an Indian-based, America-based Indian, right? So 2008, this interface was made, and the previous name of this Padlet was Wallwisher. And 3 Indians, they made this, and now this is amongst the top 50, the educational app in the world. So teachers, you can see where will the ball fall when you are clicking on this link. Can you see? Have you opened the link? You need to. I'm giving you time to open the link. Yeah, few people are writing, I can see. Outside, I got one message, but you can write your name. I'm getting the answer outside. See, I can live see this, and those who have opened the link, उनके Padlet पे भी ये नाम आ रहा होगा. तो अच्छा होता अगर आप नाम लिखते, तो मैं उसको, मीना सेठी मैम का एक मैसेज आया है, प्रेरणा मैम, Gurshan ma'am ने भी बताया, very good. So this I have learned just for this workshop, and I liked it. So just, and others, those like if they have not given the response, like you are getting a positive plus sign right at the bottom of this Padlet. So you just can click on that, and then you can write your comments. So right, you people have given your comments and all answers are correct. Okay, Asha ma'am, you were disconnected. Prabhat sir, your answer is perfectly fine. Prerna ma'am ne apna naam de diya, very good. So we all are using Padlet. You know, now when we have to write somewhere, we can write we have used Padlet, right? So, as a teacher, nothing but the way I designed the presentation. So just a small 30-second video is there to see which is the right answer. There is no audio. Blowing, the ball is falling down, right? So all your out answer was correct. So ball is coming down. I can replay the video because it is very small, so you might have missed. Vimal Bharti ma'am, mujhe aapka response mil gaya. So I'm again, just see the ball is kept at the mouth, blow, and the ball is coming out. So no need of explaining you about the story of the pressure and all. So let's have some more try of the Padlet. So this is a tank given to you. 2 tanks are given. Ye real life experience hai. And this experience was shared by Gurshan ma'am herself. And then we thought, let's keep it in this form. So these are 2 tanks A and B at the same height. They both are connected from the water source, same water source. And which tank will be filled first? The answers you will be giving again in the Padlet I'm sharing. Now you all are familiar with it. So just a second, give me a second. So you will be writing your responses. मुझे share करने का 1 minute दो. 1 second. I have copied the link. Now on the chats, I am pasting this. I have, and it has reached you. Has it? So click this link. I want all responses, at least with the name. Like maybe not the answer, but try using this Padlet. This is important, teachers. A kind of attendance for you. No, I'm not just bothering you with this. If you can comfortably do. Abhi Prabhat sir has given. Sir is very quick in this. Okay. I want some more answers. I'll give you some time. Meena ma'am has given the answer. Tank B, tank B. Okay. Teachers, I'm waiting. I'm giving a pause. Meanwhile, अगर किसी को chats में कुछ लिखना है, आप लिख सकते हो. But try this plus. Few teachers are writing. I'm waiting. You have to just click the plus button at the right bottom corner. And it's very easy to use this Padlet. आप कोई भी padlet.com पे जाके you can all create this your own Padlet.
Those whose names are coming as anonymous, I think they haven't signed in.
They haven't signed in. That's why I said like in the subject they can write the name. Yeah, they are just opening the link. So you're right.
So you must click on the icon on the right side and then select your Google account.
Yeah, they can do that also. Yes. Vimal Bharti, I've got the response. See, it's good to see our name on the wall, right? Isn't it? It's a good feel. Like if we see our name on some wall. So you can keep responding. Time is limited. I'll go back to my presentation. Okay, so the answer which tank B is the right answer. As teacher, I need not explain you this, but you know, this happened at our own place, like at Gushran Chopra ma'am's place. And then like we came to know, yes, it is happening with everybody. Yukta ma'am has responded. So it is happening with everybody, but many a times we just miss it. Like why the things are there. So the children, we just have to encourage our children to be familiar with such situation. I always ask my children, being physics teacher, whenever any electrician comes to your place, whenever a plumber is coming, whenever any repair is being done, you be part of it. One, you will be making your parents happy. You will be helping them because you will be taking care of the person who is doing those repairs, and you will learn a lot with this. So that's the important thing. They should themselves take the initiative. And this is the, everybody like wants to finish on a good note. So I would also like to finish on this good note. I like this, that it is not only signing and writing the name and we will become literate. The literate would be those who can learn, unlearn, and relearn. Like we people are doing, like from the blackboard writing, we just forgot that for this past 1.5 years. And then we learned to use these apps and all. And just remember one thing, these type of sessions, they are not going to go to end. They will remain with us for very, very long, maybe for always. The online things are not going to get end, whatever we have learned. So it's not there that ab offline classes shuru ho rahi hain, so we can just stop working on these apps and all. It's all right that we will be in that mode where we have to working those offline ways also, but these things also have to be included in our teaching and our self-learning. So thank you for now. I'll become again. Now I'll request Gushran ma'am to take the charge for her MCQs, like what ma'am would like to share. Gushran ma'am. I should stop sharing. I have.
मैम म्यूट पे हैं आप.
Sorry.
It's perfect now.
All right. Thank you, Anjali. My greetings to you all. It is no hidden fact that we all have learned a lot in the previous 1.5 years. So, continuing with the learning, I have I have chosen a very relevant topic: designing MCQs and variety of MCQs. Since the change in pattern of paper last year, we all have been framing and testing MCQs. With the passage of time, as an educator, I've learned, is my voice clear?
Perfect.
Okay. I,
It,
with the passage of time as an educator, I've learned that it's quite a challenging task. There is a list we must keep in mind while framing them, and at the same time, it is also vital to teach our children the art of attempting them. I'm pretty sure that we all
Ma'am,
are doing.
can you turn your mic off because it's causing echo.
mine? Wait, sorry. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I'm pretty sure that we all are doing our very best in this regard, and there is always a scope for learning more and more. So, allow me to use some important information with you, share some important information with you. Let me share my presentation. Uh, as Anjali ma'am has already gone with the with the case-based studies. So I have taken up some other MCQs and how to frame them and what are the various types of MCQs. First of all, what is a MCQ? Uh, it is a form of an objective assessment in which respondents are asked to select correct answer from the choices. And every MCQ consists of two parts: a STEM that includes a well framed question and the alternatives that are the options that should be reasonable or probable. So that should be a part of the MCQ. A STEM that should be a question, and the question, what, how we should design. There are main 6 points in this. The 6 points that are present in designing the multiple choice questions are: the first is write questions throughout the term. Now, children, sorry, I'm very sorry. It's now, friends, what is there is that writing questions throughout the term, how will it help us? It will help us that if we have taught something and some certain thing clicks us, if we write the question immediately, we will remember it and it will prepare our question bank for the, and we can use it in the assignment. But so many things click us when we are teaching something, and but if we do not write them immediately, what is there is that we tend to forget it after some time. Although we keep it in our mind that we have to write it, we'll frame this question, but later on, after a passage of time, we forget it. But if we keep a diary and a pen with us always, we can always write whatever idea clicks our mind. Then next is instruct students to choose the best answer rather than the correct answer. So by doing this, we acknowledge the fact that the distractors may have an element of truth. Now, what are the distractors, children? The distractors which are present here, they are the options that are very close to answer, but they are not the true answer. The distractors, they are close to answer but not true answer. So they may distract the child, but there will be some element in that which will be a little away from the truth, and some element which will be of truth. Use familiar language. The question should use the same terminology that was used in the course. Students are likely to dismiss distractors with unfamiliar terms as incorrect. Now, what is this as children? That in this, what is there is that familiar language when we say, see, I am a biology teacher, and what I feel is that if throughout the class I've been teaching children by saying RBCs, red blood cells, red blood corpuscles, and in the paper, if I give the term erythrocytes, do you think the child will be able to answer? No, the child will not be able to answer. Although some children, maybe 5% or 10% children, will be able to answer, but the average children may not be able to relate to that new term which I have used. The next point is avoid giving verbal association clues from the stem and the key. What are the verbal association clues from the stem and the key? That is the words that are very similar to the words in the option. So that will, students are more likely to pick it as the correct answer. Then next is avoid trick questions. Questions should be designed to lead students to find correct answer. We shouldn't be confusing the children, right? If we do this by giving the trick question, uh, we are violating the principle, right? Then next question is avoid negative wording. Negative wording is this point is very important because it often happens to us as well. While finding the correct choice, while clicking the correct choice for while I was making the question paper, I just overlooked the word not and I clicked on the choice that was the correct choice. So, if we are putting the question with a negative word like not, never in it, we must highlight them. Either they should be in the bold letters or they should be with some other color. They should be highlighted with the other color. Then we come the next one. Now, as we all know that the MCQ, it has two parts, a stem and the other one are the other options, right? Now, designing stem. How should we design the stem? Express the full problem in the stem. When creating the stem, ask yourself if the students would be able to answer the question without looking at options. This makes the purpose of the question very clear. Now, friends, I have chosen one question for this. For example, I've chosen a question, I'm just reading it out. A few drops of iodine solution were added to rice water. The solution turned blue-black in color. This indicates that rice water contains. Now, this is a complete question in itself, and even if we do not give the options, the child should able to know what does it contain. Can you write it in the chat box, children? That what should be the what should be the answer? I'm sorry, I'm saying children again and again. I'm so used to it. I have to reset my mind, my brain.
That shows your experience.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Andre.
we are all children.
Yeah, we are all learners. So we all know the answer for this, right? So it should be very clear. And whenever we frame a question, we must ask ourselves that will the child be able to answer even if the options are not there? If you read the question and you know that the child will be able to answer it like this, then that means that's a perfect question. Then next is designing the alternatives. Now, alternatives are the various options that we give for the question. And designing alternatives, we must limit the number of alternatives. The CBSE has already limited it to 4 alternatives, although we can change it in our questions. But most of the sample papers that we have received from the CBSE, there are 4 alternatives for every question. Make sure there is only one best answer. right? So it is very important to ensure that there is only one answer and the children should not get confused. Make the distractors appealing and plausible. Now, what is plausible? Plausible is reasonable and probable. That the options should not be, or the distractors should not be very uh, apart from each other, that the child should be able to answer the correct answer immediately. The distractors should be appealing and plausible. That means that they could also be the possible answer. The choices should be like this. Next is make the choices in some meaningful order. Meaningful order means that let us assume that I am giving a question that in which year the cell was discovered. So I should give it from it was discovered in 1920 to 1930. It was discovered from 1940 to 1950, from 1960 to 1970, or 1980 to 1990. This will not confuse the child. On the other hand, if we give the choices in a haphazard manner, it tends to confuse the child, right? So while writing the choices, sometimes we do not think so much for giving the choices, but I think we must give a minute to think that how we are giving the choices, that will definitely affect the child psychology of the child. Then next is the randomly distribute the correct response. What is meant by randomly distribute the correct response? That is, if I'm giving the MCQs, I know the answer. I should not give all the answers at the C position. Sometimes I can give it at A position, sometimes B, sometimes C, sometimes D, or it should be randomly distributed. Avoid choosing all of the above. Avoid choosing none choice. Refrain from using words such as always, never, all, or none. Sometimes they do confuse the child. Avoid overlapping choices. Avoid questions of the form which of the following statement is correct. This kind of question can be given in true and false format instead of the MCQ format. I hope I have made myself clear. Now I move on to the next this thing, types of the multiple choice questions. What are the various types of multiple choice questions? CBSE has given us divided the question paper into three parts: Section A, Section B, and Section C. Although there is not very crisp differentiation between the all parts of the all sections of the CBSE paper, all the sections except the last one, the sections they have the mixture of all the questions, but we can, as we have seen, all of us must have seen that we have seen that the A part uh, carries most of the memory and knowledge based questions. Now, what are memory and knowledge based questions? What are memory and knowledge based questions? Knowledge and memory based questions are those in which child has to learn some basic facts. For example, who discovered cell? When was the cell discovered? What name is given to the process used by autotrophs to make their food? So we see that all questions starting with who, when, and what are usually memory and knowledge based questions, where children must uh, know the facts. There are certain things in science we do agree that uh, there are certain things which we must memorize, although we are trying to take children away from the rote learning. But it is also important to know the facts. Without knowing the facts, the child would not understand various things, various principles of science. Then next is the application based questions. Drawing a diagram and writing a question to identify the part with a particular function. This kind of question can be given. Now, in the application based questions, when the child has to demonstrate understanding of facts and ideas by organizing, comparing, interpreting skills using his previous knowledge. I will discuss this how the application based questions can be answered. And the last one are the analytical questions. And the kind of questions that are included in this are assertion reason based question, case study based questions. In analytical reasoning questions are designed to assess the ability to consider a group of facts, rules, etc., and then determine what could or must be true. So they are the analytical questions. They are the analytical questions. Now the paper format for session 2021, we all know, according to latest format for session, term 1 question paper will contain only MCQs. Term 2 question paper will comprise of both MCQs and subjective questions. Term 1 paper is 3 sections and comprises of MCQs that are based on knowledge and understanding, application of knowledge, and analytical, as we have just discussed in our previous slide. Now I have picked up some questions from the sample paper, and I want to discuss these questions with you. This is question number 11 of the sample question paper given by the CBSE. This question, all of you can read it on your screen. I think you can see it. This is a diagram of the lungs that is given. And in this, it is written, carefully study the diagram of the human respiratory system with labels A, B, C, and D. Select the option which gives correct identification and main function and or characteristic. Now we'll see that all these questions, all these options, they have the things, whatever we have already discussed in our previous slides. For example, trachea, it is supported by bony rings for conducting inspired air. Now, children, a very small difference is there. It is not bony rings, they are the cartilaginous rings. So, if a child will study it hurriedly, what will happen? He will overlook the bony and he will think that this is the correct option. Then comes ribs. When we breathe out, the ribs are lifted. Again, the ribs are not lifted, they drop down. Alveoli, thin-walled sac-like structures for exchange of gases. Yes, this is the correct option. So if we keep eliminating the choices, we will reach our correct answer and we can ensure that yes, the answer that we have marked is the correct answer. In this slide, I have just given the answer. And in this is the remembering based question. It exhibits memory of previously learned material by recalling facts, terms, basic concepts, etc. Then we come to the next slide. Again, a sample question paper question. Question, opening and closing of stomatal pores depends on the atmospheric temperature, oxygen concentration around stomata, carbon dioxide concentration around stomata, water content in guard cells. Now, I think all these options are plausible. I think all these options, they are plausible. That means they are reasonable and probable. The child will take a minute to think about this, and they are all interrelated. They are not the haphazard options that are given in the sample paper. The child will have to take a minute, and we must encourage the child to read the question twice and then read each option once or twice and then keep eliminating the options which he think is completely do not match the answer. The water content in guard cells, we all know this is the correct option. Then this is the section B, and it contains a question which is understanding based. It will demonstrate understanding of facts and ideas by organizing, comparing, interpreting, etc. What is common between extensive network of blood vessels around walls of alveoli and in glomerulus of nephron? Now, in this, the child will have to apply his knowledge. He will have to demonstrate the understanding of facts and ideas, that how both of them are interrelated, how what is common between the extensive network of blood vessels. Until or unless he is thorough with his uh, until or unless he is thorough with his study, he will not be able to answer. So children, so students, friends, I am limiting my questions as it's almost time. I don't want to take enough time. Now on a lighter note, I just want to, I've picked up few situations of online classes. Kids during online school, the kids, they normally remain silent when the teacher is asking something. The teacher is asking, does anyone have any questions about this assignment? Anyone? No questions? You all understand the child is still silent. Okay, let's sign off and you can get to work. And the child immediately shouts at the mom, I need help. I don't understand this assignment. The child is sleeping as the teacher is explaining. And this is a very hilarious one. In Kung Fu class, the child is accidentally hits his own PC. And this is teachers during online classes. We all get ready early in the morning to teach, to take a class. And then we see many children are absent. We keep asking, why were you absent? They give us excuses like they forgot the password. And this is a picture taken by Indian Express. This is a real picture. A child actually slept like this. And an adult is saying, me also after my 40-minute Zoom class, and I'm a whole entire adult, would do this. I hope you won't fall, fall like this immediately after my session. Thank you so much. Thank you. And now I hand over to Anjali for concluding the session. Anjali ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Kushar ma'am. Principal ma'am is there also with us.
Okay.
Ma'am, just little assignment I have to discuss with the teachers. Then, yeah. So, teachers, 2 links have been shared with you. One for the attendance and one for the case-based study. You have time for 2 days. We will be making a question bank like if like 15 of us are here, the science teachers taking 9th and 10th of the cluster. So each one of you is just has to make one case-based question on the lines what we have learned today, and that content will be open to all. The link will be kept open to all, and you all can collect the questions from there. So like the link will be open till today is Saturday. So by Monday evening, I'll close the link. You can frame a nice case study question. So this way we will be getting the 15 questions. So some of you can make from class 9, some can do from class 10. So we will prepare a question bank of 15 questions. Not much of the homework I'm giving. So just one case-based question. But then we should be making it by keeping all the points, the ideal points, ideal competency-based question should be framed. Thank you. Attendance link has also been shared. So over to Khamoshi ma'am now, like something like you have, or ma'am? Okay, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I think very well presented, both Anjali ma'am and Gusharan ma'am. I think that's one of the finest thing I find about the DAVCAE. I think we all get to learn, though I'm not from science background, but the topic was so compelling that I felt that even if I attend a science session, that would be a great source of enrichment for me. And I think all the credit goes to our worthy principal, ma'am, Mrs. Jia Bhardwaj, who is really motivational and inspirational and is always, encouraging us to learn even beyond our subject. So that's why I'm here, even when I don't belong to the science department. So I would like Principal Ma'am, Mrs. Jia Bhardwaj, as well as Cluster Head Panchkula Zone, to conclude and say a few words. Ma'am.
Thank you, Kamushi. Thank you so much. And with this, we come to the conclusion of the 2 days long capacity enhancement program in all the subjects. I had been skipping from, say, Hindi to social sciences and this, and what I was finding that enthusiasm among the participants. And the homework also, like Anjali is going to share, and now you are going to have a 15 question. And if you are all going to make 2, then you will be having 30 questions. Right, one teacher thinking of 30 questions, whereas where the different minds are coming together and you are going to share it, and it is always, sharing is always good. And when you share your good practices and best practices, it allows each one of us to grow. Because as a cluster head, what I believe, in our cluster, every school should be in the excellent category. No school should be less than 80%. And this is all in the hands of my teachers. Since you are all together and learning together, and you are going to translate this into your classroom teaching, and my children are going to be benefited. So I hope the 2 day sessions had been very enriching for all of you. I would like to thank Madam Nisha Patient for giving us this opportunity to conduct our sessions, as well as the DAVCAE to giving us the opportunities, and giving us opportunities for our teachers also to participate at the national level. Right now, the English participation is going on. In the next month, I think the mathematics also, it's going to be national level. So we thank them from our core of our heart. And I thank all my colleague principals from my cluster for sparing your teachers and meticulously following and giving the master trainers. So without each and everyone's cooperation, this 2 days program would not have been a smooth one like it has been today. So I thank all and my team members, particularly Kamushi, my coordinator for academics from my school. She's the one who's managing all the DAVCAE enrichment programs, making all the calendars and working closely with all the master trainers. Thank you so much. I thank each and every one of the master trainers also. Because of them, this session was very beautiful, because you all work behind the scene. You prepare, and for this 1 hour session, I know how much effort you all have to put in. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend. Stay safe and stay blessed, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.